In this video, I'm going to show you how to heal your neck pain or prevent issues from happening in the future with Tai Chi and traditional exercises. All right, so as always, you don't have to get any of the movements perfect. You don't have to memorize anything, just follow along. I'll be your mirror image and you can always go rogue. And then also I cue the breathing. You can always breathe normal and you can have a seat at any time. You could actually do this whole thing seated or you can alternate as needed. If you're standing, we'll begin with the feet together or as close as you can. The hands can come to the lower abdomen, and then just taking a few deep breaths just to arrive in the moment. Letting go of the worries from the day, just feeling into the body. As you breathe in, the belly expands, and as you breathe out, the belly returns towards the spine. Abdominal breathing. You can even take a deep sigh as you breathe out. Sometimes that releases stress and tension that you didn't even know you had. All right, then maybe one more deep breath. Then the hands can float down by the sides. And as you breathe in, the arms float up. They circle in front as if you're gathering in energy right into the heart. Send it down through the body into the earth, sinking the chi, the life force energy, the source of our power and our strength, our vitality and our healing. One more time, sink the chi. And then from here, you can step one foot out to the side, either foot. Then the arms float up like mist rising from the lake. Then the arms float down as you soften the hips and knees. Breathing in, rising up like you're riding on a wave in the ocean. Breathing out, floating down nice and soft. It's called opening the door, start of the journey. All right, now this time stay with me here. As the hands float up, we'll stay up nice and tall, and then the palms face towards you. Then draw the hands in towards the chin in towards the neck. Then the hands press out as you release. The hands float down. Do that again. So the hands float up in front, getting nice and tall, the palms face towards you, then almost as if you're making a double chin, drawing the chin in, and then just softening, letting it go. The hands press out. The turtle retracts its head. Let's do that one more time, realigning the spine, creating optimal posture, and then release. All right, this time we'll begin to rotate to the side. So moving from the waist, the palms face away, then the shoulders, and then the neck. And then the neck turns back towards center, the shoulders, and the waist. And then we'll go the other way. The wise owl looks behind, turning from the waist, the shoulders, and then the head. Just going easy at first, coming back to center, never forcing it, always easing in. Nice and gentle. Coming back to center. One more time, the wise owl looks behind. Coming back to center, and then this time the arms float out to the sides like you're spreading your wings. Then as the arms float down, the palms face up. The hands float up the midline, turning at the heart, pressing up overhead, and then floating out and down, holding up the sky. Breathing in, rising up. Breathing out, floating down, or take as many breaths as you need. One more time, holding up the sky, and then letting it go. It's an important part, letting go. All right, this time the hands float up to the heart. One hand pushes up, the other pushes down, connecting the sky and the earth. The hands come back towards the heart, and then we can switch sides, keeping the spine neutral at first. And then this time, if you want, you can do a side bend. But once again, nice and easy, just staying in your comfort zone at first. You can always do more next time, but once you've gone too far, it's hard to take it back. So all right, one more time, connecting above and below. It's nice and gentle. All right, now this time the bottom hand comes up and then it pushes to the corner. The other hand pushes behind. dragon spreads its wings. We'll go to the other corner. The hand pushes right to the corner, the other hand pushes behind. And then this time you can turn a little more if you want, pivoting on the feet, the back heel can come up. And then you can even look over the shoulder if that feels okay for you. And let's do one more to the other side. This time the back hand swings around as if it's gliding on the surface of the water. Then the other hand comes around as the dragon swings its tail. It's like you're making little ripples in the water, sending them out into the distance. One more. And then from here, we'll hug the tree. Bring it back to center and then soften. Breathing in, the arms come away from you. And as you breathe out, the hands come towards you. Then we'll just begin to push to one side as you lean to that same side. Then coming back to center, we'll go to the other side as the dragon stretches its tail. All right, this time as you push to the side, the foot taps out a little bit wider as well. Then bring it back in, other side, and you don't have to tap very far, you can just do a little tap. All right, and if you want, you can do a little bit further, just seeing how that feels, challenging the balance in all the different directions. One more time, the dragon stretches its tail. Then hug the tree, bring it back to center, the arms drawn towards the heart as you shift your weight to one side, and then you can step out to the corner as you push the mountain. Breathing in, drawing in, breathing out and push. So we learn to move like nature with effortless ease. All right, this time the palms face towards each other and the hands come right out in front. Then the palms face away from each other and then open, circling out and around, scooping under, back out front. Parting the clouds. Breathing in, feeling the air between the fingers, bringing mindfulness to your body. One more time, parting the clouds. All right, and then from here, the front foot steps back in, the hands come back in towards the heart, shift the weight, and then we'll step out to the other corner as you push the mountain. Once again, nice and easy, nice and slow, no rush, nowhere to go. Can you be here now? Let's do one more. This time the palms face towards each other, come right out in front, and the palms face away from each other. Opening, circling around, scooping under, back out front. Right to the corner as you part the clouds. All right, this time, circle out and around, scooping under, and then the front foot steps back in, hug the tree. Bring it back to center, breathing in, the arms open, breathing out, the fingertips drift towards each other, the hands float down. Then drifting over to one side, then drifting over to the other. Like tall grass in the breeze, nice gentle sway. And then come over to one side, tap the heel right out in front. Bring it back in, other side, tap the heel. All right, this time tap the heel, the hand comes over the foot. Other side, tap the heel, hand over the foot. All right, this time, hand over the foot, other hand over the knee, playing the pipa, Chinese guitar. Other side, hand over the foot, other hand over the knee. As always, don't worry about getting it perfect. Just keep on moving. This one's sometimes called strumming the lute. Let's do one more. All right, then stay with me here. So step in, circle the hands around, and catch the moon. The top hand goes behind the back, and then step right out to the corner once again. This time the bottom hand guides the moon right off into the sky. And circle it back around as if you're tossing the moon. All right, this time the other hand comes back on top, catch the moon, Bottom hand tosses away, the other hand presses down, parting the wild horse's mane. Do that again, shifting the weight, breathing, just feeling the sensations, going for the ride. All right, one more time. All right, now this time we'll catch the moon, then we'll spin the moon, making 2 loose fists, one arm overhead, the other by the waist as you look behind. Coming back to center, catch the moon. Then once again, we'll spin the moon and look behind. 2 loose fists, one above, one by the waist. Riding the tiger. One more time. Gentle rotation, 2 loose fists. And then parting the horse's mane one more time just to keep it flowing. And then step back in, hug the tree, rounding out and soften. The arms open up wide. Then this hand scoops under, step in as you catch the moon. Take your time. Top hand goes away, just for now. Then we'll step out to the other corner. As you step out, we'll toss the moon. As if you could toss it right back into the sky. This time the other hand comes back on top, parting the wild horse's mane, creating tranquility out of chaos. Circle it around, feeling into the body. One more time, parting the horse's mane. All right, now this time we'll spin the moon and look behind, making 2 loose fists, gentle rotation, 1 fist above, the other below. Coming back to center, catch the moon. Spin the moon. Gentle rotation, looking to the back corner. One more time, ride the tiger. Beautiful. All right, and then let's part the horse's mane one last time. Toss it away. Step back in, hug the tree, rounding out, soften. The arms open up wide, and the hands float down. The wrists cross right out in front as you step in, coming on the ball of the foot. Step out to the side, the hands brush out as well. All right, now you can keep your toe down, or this time if you want, you can lift it straight up and even point it to the corner. Coming back down. This time you can kick out your heel, either straight to the corner or even straight towards the earth. Kind of like playing the peepaw. It still counts. And then finally you can open your arms as you kick the heel. The heel kick. All right, let's do that again. You can continue to kick right towards the earth, or you can kick a little higher. See how that feels. All right, one more time. Step up and kick with heel. Beautiful. All right, this time the arms float out to the side, spreading your wings. Then we'll step the other foot in. Cross the wrists in front of the heart. Then step back out to the side, the hands brush out as well. Nice gentle sway. Now once again, you can keep your toe down or you can lift it up, pointing it to the corner or straight ahead. Whatever works for you. Promise I won't get mad. All right, this time you can kick out the heel. Once again, you can kick it towards the earth or straight out. Just meeting yourself where you're at. You can always go forward from there. This time you can open the arms as you kick the heel. The heel kick. Let's do that again, kicking down or kick a little higher if you like. Letting go of judgment. Just bringing this sense of curiosity. Oh, I'm this tight today. One more time, the heel kick. All right, this time circle around, hug the tree. Rounding out, soften. This time the arms open up wide, the hands float down, palms face up. One hand on top of the other, and then this hand drops down. floats all the way up and over, down the center line of the body. And then other side, breathe in as the hand floats up, breathing out, centering. Let's do that one again, calming the heart-mind, creating focus and clarity. One more time, centering. And then both arms float all the way up and over, just as much as you can. The hands float down to the waist as you soften your hips and knees. And then circle in front as if you had a big ball right in front of the body, gathering in the energy to transform to loving kindness right at the heart. And then one last time, up and over, down to the waist. This time you can make a diamond shape with the hands right in front of the heart and then press out, opening the heart, sending out loving kindness out to the world. May all beings be free from suffering. May they be happy. May they be healthy. May they live with ease. And then turning your palms to face yourself, the hands come to the heart. May I be kind to myself. May I feel connected with all beings. May I love myself just as I am. Then the hands can float down to the lower abdomen. You can step your feet together or as close as you can. You can close your eyes or just keep a soft gaze and let your body rock and sway ever so slightly. Bamboo in the wind. Just feeling the gentle oscillations, circular or maybe back and forth or side to side. Just letting the energy move you, letting go. Feeling the breath. Feeling the body breathing. Just noticing how that feels. And then bringing your attention into the area of your heart, creating an inner smile, expressing gratitude to yourself for being here today. And if your eyes are closed, you can slowly open them. The hands can come together in front of the heart. We can finish with a bow. All right, thank you so much for joining me for this Tai Chi Flow for balance. And we threw in a couple of extra movements for neck mobility as well. All right, so what I'm gonna do now though is show you some specific exercises you can do in addition to your Tai Chi to relieve neck tightness, neck pain, or just to keep your neck nice and mobile. Because if we don't use it, it is true that we will lose it. So we lose our movements if we don't use them. So it's important to keep the neck moving. All right, so the movements I'm gonna show you first are for neck mobility. All right, so these are ones that you can do pretty much every day. It's great if you have arthritis or just general neck pain. And this can just keep your neck mobile and keep it loose. Or if you want to prevent issues. All right, so the first one is you can stand just in a comfortable stance, maybe hip width or shoulder width apart. And I always like to recommend a slight bend in the knees so that you're not rigid. All right, locking out the joints is not usually a good thing. So you want to kind of just soften a little bit, soften the shoulders, because you don't want your shoulders to be up by your ears. That's a good way to create more tension. So you want to just release the tension. And then we'll just begin by turning the neck very gently to one side, or turning the head and then to the other. All right, now if this makes you dizzy at all, then you can skip this, especially if you have vertigo, then you might want to get it checked out or make sure that these are good for you. So checking in with your primary healthcare provider if you have any underlying conditions. But just to keep your neck nice and mobile, this can really help. Now if it does make you dizzy, you can just go to one side and then come back to center, and then go to the same side again, and do that 5 or 10 times, and then you can do the other side. So that's how you can do it if you get dizzy going all the way back and forth, because that can create some dizziness for some people. All right, so that's how we can keep the neck with rotation. It's very important, especially if you're still driving, because you have to look over your, for your blind spot. So it's actually a safety thing. So you want to make sure your neck you can turn. All right, and so the other one is up and down. So once again, if you have vertigo, if you know this makes you feel yucky, you can skip it. But if it feels okay, then just gently looking up and then looking down. All right, so I like to go in these directions. You can do circles, but for me, my neck doesn't like that, so I don't do it. But you can if that's okay with you. But these ones are usually the safest, just going up and down and side to side. And that can really get all the motions in that you need. All right, now, the next exercise I'm going to show you is my favorite exercise of all time because it's helped relieve years of neck pain with myself, but also with hundreds of patients that I've shown this one to. All right, it's helped clear up a lot of stuff. Now, keep in mind that if you have arm pain, about 70 to 80% of people with arm pain, there's about either it's directly related to your neck or there's at least a component. So if you don't check out your neck, if you don't realign the joints, then you might never get that fully cleared up, or you might not get to the maximum function that you want. And so make sure that you want to make sure your neck is in good alignment. All right, now most of us have what's called forward head posture. That's when our chin is kind of jutted forward. I'm kind of exaggerating, but some people are actually, that far. But in general, most of us just have a slight shift forward. Now, for every inch that our chin is forward, it puts another pound of force on your neck muscles. So your neck muscles are working overtime just to keep your head up because it feels like you're falling. Your nervous system thinks you're falling when your head's coming forward too much, so your neck muscles are trying to rein it in. All right, so just getting your neck into better alignment can release that tension that you may have had for years without even stretching. All right, but you usually have to do an exercise to really realign the joints and retrain the muscles to do what they're to do what they're supposed to do and not have them do more than they need to. All right, so this one's called the chin tuck, and we kind of did it in our flow. So you can kind of just do the flow with this one too. But what we're going to do is basically make a double chin. All right, I'm going to show you from the side. But what you're going to do is draw the chin in towards your neck like you're making a double chin and then release. All right, so you're going from neutral, wherever your neutral is, and then drawing your chin in nice and gentle. All right, but you don't want to come all the way forward. All right, so it's just neutral to back. Neutral, it's actually called retract. So like the turtle retracts its head. That's what this one's about. So we're drawing the chin in. And as you can see, my posture is actually improving, right? Just by doing that. And so we're more in line with gravity so that if we're not, then like I said, the muscles have to work overtime just to keep your head up. So when you bring your chin back and your head's in alignment with gravity, then your muscles are like, oh, okay, we're just kind of balancing over gravity. So I don't have to work so hard. So that alone can release that tension in your neck muscles. And at the same time, we're getting the joints more in alignment too. All right, so it's going to reduce stresses on the joints. So that one you'll want to do every day if it feels okay. Now, there's a couple of things I wanted to point out, that if you have arm pain and you start to do this, you might start to feel more pain in your neck but less in your arm. That's actually a good thing. It's called centralizing. So we're centralizing the pain to where it started from. Now, I do want to say too that you're probably better off getting an assessment from a physical therapist if you do have pain, but this can be a good way to get started to see if you actually would benefit from mechanical therapy, because it's kind of like mechanical joint issues. All right, so if you bring your chin back and it feels more pain right in the center but less in the arm or the neck, then that's actually a good thing. That means that you should probably go in and get some treatment for it, because that you could potentially clear that up, even if you've had it for years. All right, and so we're going to do that, and that's going to potentially cause a little bit more pain at first, but then especially if it goes away after 5 or 10 reps, then you know you're on the right track and you can clear it up through movement. All right, so that's one of the biggest things. But once again, if you start to feel more pain down the arm, that means that's not the right thing for you, so don't do it. All right? But you'll want to do 5 to 10 repetitions and then no more than that for one day. All right? And then see how it feels the next day. All right, if you start to feel really sore, then you'll have to take a day off. You don't want to force it and overdo it. All right, so that's how, so remember the first one, we're just doing motion. So you can do 10 reps each direction, up and down, left and right. You can do that every day. You can do the chin tuck every day, because most people, from driving and on the computer, most of us have that forward head posture. And so that's going to help probably at least 80 to 90% of people. So once again, if it bothers you, then skip it, get it checked out. All right, and then the last one is what's also helped me relieve years of neck tension, not just the pain, but actually I just had always felt tight, especially after physical therapy school. We used to have a joke, it's like by the time we all finished physical therapy school, we all needed PT because we were so, hunched over the books for so many years that our necks were all kind of, not feeling good. So, but one thing you can do is if you're a reader, what really helped me was to get a book stand. All right, so if you're used to reading, like looking down, once again, that's putting all this pressure on your joints, your neck muscles are working overtime. So if you get a book stand or like a cookbook stand or a music stand, put that on the table so that way your neck is in neutral. That's gonna help relieve tension from your neck too. That really helped me when I was studying every day for physical therapy school. I got that and that almost cleared up my pain 50%. All right, but I still had some issues. But if you read at night in bed, that's another thing. If you're kind of hunched down in bed, then you might want to just stick to just sitting at a table for now. If you have neck issues, that'll really help because when you're in that position where you're kind of hunched down like that in bed, I know a lot of people do that. And I've had patients that told me that alone really helped. So you can try that out if that's something that you do. And so the other thing is doing an exercise called hugging the tree. You may be familiar. We did it many times today. And so when we hug the tree, it's also called the Wuji stance in Tai Chi. And so I'm going to show you this movement, this position that really helped me. All right. And so first let's talk about the position to get into. All right. So once again, the feet are about shoulder width apart, knees slightly bent. All right. And then what you're going to do is imagine that you're hugging a tree. All right, the shoulders are soft, the elbows drop. All right, so I'm going to show you from the side. So my elbows aren't up, my elbows are dropped. All right, so most people, that's the number one thing they do is they hike the shoulders and they hike the elbows. I mean, I'm kind of exaggerating, but some people might even do that. That's going to create tension. So what you can do is practice softening down, so just dropping down. All right, now the fingertips are about a fist width apart. All right, and the hands are at about your heart level. So that's where you want to have the position of the arms. All right, now what you're doing is you're putting the body into the optimal Tai Chi position. That's why we do this so much. And it's very similar to some of the movements we do, like warding off, it's like a half hug, or parting horse's mane, it's the same idea, we just rotate. All right, there's other movements too where we're in this position in Tai Chi, and so it's really a great foundational position, but it's what I learned how to relax my muscles with. All right, so what you can do is hold this position for 10 seconds. And each second, you're just checking in, just letting go. Letting go. See how my shoulders are just kind of dropping? Softening. All right, so from the side, just practice softening down. But you don't want to force it down, just soften down. And then after a few seconds, then, actually after 10 seconds, take a break because this could actually, get sore from holding it. It's good for building endurance too, though. All right, but we're just trying to train the muscles to relax with this. It's called hugging the tree or Wuji stance. All right, so once again, get into this position and then just practice softening. That's the whole practice. Even if the arms aren't perfect, if it's too, you can bring them lower too. Say that's like a lot of strain for you, then you can hold them low. So the lower, the easier it'll be. So just practice here for a little bit. And then over maybe a week or two, you can try a little bit higher. But also, the main practice is softening. And then maybe a little bit higher until you get to heart level. All right, and then when you can get to the heart level for 10 seconds, and then releasing, and you're like, okay, I could do that longer, then you go to 15 seconds a day. And then 20 seconds a day. And so I got to the point where I was doing it for a whole minute. I would just hold for a minute. And by the time I was doing that, I no longer had tension in my neck. It felt just fine. And so I found that was helpful for other people too. So I started showing them and they told me the same thing is after they started doing it every day for a couple weeks, starting off very small, 10 seconds, and maybe even low, but over time, they found that it actually helped release this tension, even if like that, because sometimes you can get rid of the pain, but there's still tightness feeling all the time. And so that can help just practice letting go. All right, so this quote is from Jack Kornfield, who's a meditation teacher, mindfulness, and he says that no matter how difficult the past, You can always begin again today.